Hey family, Dad here. Hope you're having a great day. On this video, I just wanted to talk about my total compensation with my new job. Now I'm 49. I've been in the working world post college for 25 plus years now, all in sales. So I started out in entry level sales and then just since then really been in healthcare sales for the past probably 18 years. And I enjoy it. One of the things is I enjoy the flexibility. It is field sales, so I work from home. They give you a laptop. They usually give you a company car or car allowance, iPad, and then you go out and start making calls to the targets that the company kind of assigns you to. You go there and get in front of the decision makers and essentially just try and grow the business, get their commitment to use the product, prescribe it, and help with the nurse team, staff, whatever, to kind of pull it through. So the flexibility is really nice. I was divorced back in 2006, and I had two kids. So at the time, they were ages 3 and 1. My first entry-level job out of college, I was working like 50, 60 hours a week. And then with my divorce, I knew that wasn't going to be sustainable. I needed to spend time with my kids. And sure enough, with healthcare sales, again, as I said, it is remote. It is kind of field sales, so you're going out to customers' locations, and it's pretty flexible. I think part of it is just the company culture and also your direct supervisor. I'm very fortunate that all my supervisors have been very flexible with me, and at the end of the day, their thought was as long as you are performing, they don't care how long you are out in the field Monday through Friday. So let's break it down. So with my base salary, I do make about $145K per year, which is great. I'm pretty happy with that. And then with a commission/bonus structure, I'm targeted to make roughly about $49,000 a year. You get paid out, and with this company, I do get paid out quarterly. So that's roughly about $12,250, $12,500 a quarter. And then with this company, there's always kind of quarterly spiffs where you can actually make more money on top of that. So that makes it really nice. I did receive a sign-on bonus. The sign-on bonus was $3,500, and that would be paid 90 days after my start date. So I start in early April, and that should be paid out in probably early July. And I do get PTO, I do get holidays. I think currently right now I get about 21 days of PTO per year. And then plus on top of that, I get some flex sick days, PTO days, mental health days. And I think that's roughly about 5 per day or 5 per year. And so total, I get, I think 26 PTO days, whatever you want to use those vacation days on, is for me to choose. So with that, that's roughly about a little over 5 weeks. I'm pretty happy about that. As far as holidays that they observe, I think they observe about 12, 13 holidays. They do give us Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day off as well. So that makes it really nice. Now, I've had previous companies in healthcare, with healthcare companies that sometimes had the last week of the year off, which is a nice little perk. So you don't have to use your PTO, your vacation days during that Christmas, New Year's time. But for this company, they don't give any time off during that time, but they do give that Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day off, which is still pretty nice. And with my compensation, they do provide me a company car, which is huge in my mind. I do pay out of my paycheck. It is roughly about $130 per month. But for me, for the person who's owned a personal car, who's had a car allowance with other companies before, I would much rather pay $130 per month for a company car versus having a car allowance or driving my own personal car. Reasons being is just there's so much maintenance, so much costs involved with the vehicle. Not only you're talking about making a car payment to the vehicle, but also auto insurance, which is crazy, which keeps going up in my mind year after year. The maintenance costs associated with it, and also fuel. With the rising cost of gas, it's always a concern in the back of your mind when you have your own personal car or even a car allowance. Now, fortunately, me paying $130 per month, that covers everything. So it covers gas, it covers maintenance. If I get into an accident, if I get a cracked windshield, I just call a 1-800 number, a third-party vendor who supports our company vehicles, They will kind of set everything up. They'll schedule an appointment to get the car windshield replaced. And then if it needs to stay in the shop for an extended period of time, the third-party vendor will provide me with a rental car at no cost to me. And then, like I said, with with auto insurance, all that kind of stuff, that's covered under the $130 per month that I pay. So it's really, really worth it in my mind. I'd rather not deal with a personal vehicle because I know the headaches sometimes and the unexpected expenses that come along with the vehicle. So I'm very happy with it. And these vehicles, they're not, beat up clunkers. Usually they're no more than 3 years old. And typically with these company cars, at least in my experience, roughly every 3 years or 75,000 miles, they will ask you to turn in your vehicle and then they'll replace it with a brand new vehicle. And then lastly, health insurance. So I have really good health insurance with part of my benefits. I include my kids under my health coverage because it's cheaper at the end of the day. My daughter's 22. She has her own job in the city. It's a lot more expensive for her with her company versus just keeping her on my current health insurance benefits. So as you add it all up, I roughly make about close to $200K, the base salary, bonus commission, and then the sign-on bonus for the year for the next 12 months. And then plus including that, PTO, company car, great health insurance coverage. I can't complain as far as what I'm making total comp wise. And I've shared previously, I'm very non-frivolous. I've shared kind of what my monthly budget looks like, and I save a good chunk of it as well of my paycheck to investments, retirement, savings. So let me know your thoughts. What does your total compensation look like? What industry are you in? What vertical are you in? Comment, like, subscribe. I would definitely appreciate it. So that's all I got. Thanks for watching.